Hello everybody, my name is Luis Diaz and this is my final presentation video. Fun fact, I already recorded this once, but I didn't realize that my mic was not being picked up by OBS, so I'm gonna have to record it again. So if I seem a little, I guess, fast, is because I'm a bit peeved that my mic for some reason didn't set up, even though every time I've recorded videos before, it's always been set up. About me, I'm a 24-year-old Dominican Northern Essex Community College student, and my highest degree of education so far is a high school diploma obtained from the graduating class of Lawrence High School 2019. Though, if I pass this class, I will have an associate's degree as I will graduate soon. I'm an avid gamer and I like to dabble in all sorts of games. I like games like horror games, like Amnesia. I like survival games, like Minecraft. Well, I guess Minecraft's more like a creative, but like a survival game, RPG games like Final Fantasy, like multiplayer games like Marvel Rivals. I like all sorts of games. Right now, I'm currently playing Bleach Rebirth of Souls, and I'm trying to get all the achievements. I'm a big Bleach fan, anime fan, but I'm also a big Bleach fan, and that's what I've been in my free time mostly been doing. These are my links related to me, my personal email, my school email, and then my GitHub. I know my personal email is pretty childish. I probably should make an actual personal email that's a little less childish. I made this when I was a kid, okay? Okay. Skills and experiences. I'm not particularly versed in any programming languages, but I think I'm pretty good at adapting to any new languages quickly. I do enjoy learning about programming languages. It's just I've never had a real reason to stick to one. I think my reason would be finding like a job and then learning what I'd have to do there. I haven't really done any jobs or even any other STEM path realistic related to jobs simply because sorry, let me rephrase that. I haven't done any IT jobs or even other jobs that are related to STEM simply because I've been more focused on my studies and helping out my family like with all my siblings and stuff, which once I get this associate's degree as I mentioned, if I pass this class, I will start focusing on looking for another job. The current projects I'm working on are, well, as of right now, it's redoing my fifth lab and this final, but basically which involved the Ubuntu VM and the CentOS VMs that I installed through the first lab. Though on occasion, I guess I don't know if you can call this a project. I do like going through my computer and cleaning out stuff from like my from game folders. As I mentioned, I like playing games, and sometimes I delete some games, and sometimes they leave some things behind that take up a lot of space. If any of you have ever played DC Universe, that game was like malware, and my lord, it was difficult to remove everything left of that game after I uninstalled it. And I barely played it too, so man, it was not optimized to be uninstalled. That's for sure. This is lab one, the setup lab. This was just showing the end result of me pinging both Google and pinging Google on both my Ubuntu server and my CentOS server. This was my what's it called? My grep lab 2, and I'm simply just using the grep command to print out all lines without the words, the string street, and the abbreviation for street. Simple. This is the lab 3, the sed lab, and this is the sed command to I think we added great literary characters and happily ever after the end at the start and bottom of this. I think that's what my sed was. What this command was. Lab 4 was awk, and this is one I had to redo a lot because I wrote, instead of an awk file, I wrote a text file. This time I rewrote the script as an awk file and wrote it, and then ran it through with the awk command, and it gave us the results we were looking for that problem. This was lab 5, networking. Networking, uh, I, sorry, I'm having a bit of a brain fart. Networking. The networking lab was also kind of, I mean, it was simple for the most part. It was just finding a lot of commands and finding out what would be the best to put in a script for like a network tests. These are the commands that I thought were the most prevalent, or the most basic commands that were prevalent, as a lot of these commands have more options to them, and there's probably some more that I missed too. This is my firewall lab, the last lab that I have to do a revise, and it's unique. It's the most unique out of a lot of the labs, as it requires Wireshark as well to test it out, But I'll be done with it. I'm getting it done. The final lab, containers, was a big hassle, as for some reason, once I ran Minikube, a lot of temporary files booted up and they would not leave, and they were like 5 gigabytes, 3 gigabytes, 2 gigabytes, and they took up all of my VM storage. So, and normally those files should leave when you turn off the machine. It didn't. So it was a pretty big hassle to remove them, but in the end I was able to remove them and what's it called, and figure out the lab and install and finish Minikube. My accomplishments, is pretty much what I mentioned. A lot of my accomplishments, a lot of my challenges were things that weren't even really related to the actual lab, but more like weird offshoots. Example, the containers lab, I had to deal with storage problems, or the CentOS lab or the networking lab, I had to update from CentOS 7 to CentOS 9 because it was EOL end of life and that sort of thing. And most of my accomplishments for those problems tended to be the same solution. Like I learned how to allocate more space to the server. I learned how to update my current like Linux distros to its more updated version through just the terminal rather than downloading a new. And biggest challenges I had, as I mentioned, would most likely be the CentOS. It's a tie between CentOS, having to update it from CentOS 7 to CentOS 9 because I couldn't use CentOS 7 to complete that lab, or having to delete the temporary files off Minikube. And the more I think about it, I think it was the Minikube stuff that was fairly annoying, as it came kind of it came out of nowhere. The moment I was most proud of was again a tie between those two things I just mentioned, and I think Minikube squeaks it out, to be honest. One thing I would do to improve if I could do this all over again, as I mentioned in my midterm, I would definitely try to be a bit more organized. I have a lot of my stuff I leave in my download folder, except games usually, and yeah, my downloads folder is a mess. It was a hassle to try to find a lot of my old labs that I've saved to like get screenshots and stuff. Yeah. One thing from the term, sorry, let me rephrase that. One thing from term that you could see yourself using in a job. I could see myself writing scripts and stuff because I think it's pretty fun. And I think there's a lot of IT jobs that have you write scripts. I just would have to find an IT job that would let me do that. And did I improve on things I set out to do since the midterm? No, I have not, because I still haven't really become proficient in any coding languages. But as I mentioned earlier, I think once I get a job, that would change. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to my presentation. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you all have a nice day. Bye bye.